Shalom. Little video today, man. You know, been studying, man. Found some more stuff. Actually, this is kind of a test just to see if I can do this. Um, got a quote here from a book from 1850 called "The Black Man: The Comparative Anatomy and Physiology." Something. It was written in Germany in like 1850. For some reason, this is in the Library of Congress here in the US. I have no idea why. Anyway, just a very interesting quote, right? We do not grieve. Wait, let's start right here. Okay, I understand you may not be able to see this here, but this is probably the best I could get it. There are many nations and tribes which have already disappeared from the, and I hope you can read this because I know it's a little, um, yeah, disappeared from the earth because they did not resist the power of more powerful nations or were unable to become powerful themselves. We do not grieve over the fall of the Celts. The Celts, man, this is why. Look here, they're talking about how because we ourselves destroyed them. They're talking about they were responsible for the destruction of the melanated peoples in England. We look on with tranquility as the Aboriginal people of America. You see, these are the people, these are the ones decay and pass away, while our own race is the sole cause of their destruction. This is an admission of guilt right here, right? We've been talking about the ways to make remedy. Well, this is what they got to make remedy for. Um, let's see what happens now. This is probably when it's going to stop recording because I clicked on something. Okay, cool. It's still recording. Great. Okay. Um, all right, this here. This is really something, okay? This is an old portrait of Napoleon Bonaparte, 1798, I think they said, right? I'll show you the whole picture here in a minute. But again, the reading is kind of difficult. I mean, check it out. I wouldn't even be trying to show this if it wasn't something I hadn't seen other places, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it's kind of jumbled and everything, man. But okay, so this is Napoleon. He's down here. I'll show you the picture after. And this is his, his voices. He says, "What? Our fleet captured and destroyed by the slaves of Britain? By my sword and by holy Mahomet." Now, I looked that up. Mahomet, that's, I believe Muhammad, it's coming back as in French. I don't know because that Homet and what instead in front of that instead of the MA would be the BAP, Baphomet. Mahomet, I don't know. "I swear eternal vengeance, yes, when I have subjected Egypt," okay? This is the time he was getting ready to go into Egypt. "Subdued the Arabs, the Druses, and the Marianites, become master of Syria, turned the great turned the great river Euphrates and sailed upon it through the sandy deserts, complete to my compel to my assistance the Bedouins, the Tusculmans." And if you're seeing this a different way, I'm just trying my best, man. I mean, Kurds, Armenians, and Persians. Okay, so he says he's sailing up the river Euphrates, right, through the sandy desert, and compelled to my assistance the Bedouins, Tusculmans, Kurds, Armenians, and Persians. Formed a million of cavalry and passed them upon rafts 600 or 700 miles over the Bosphorus. Now I looked that up. That's the waterway in Turkey or Anatolia between, I believe, Constantinople and the east of Turkey. Okay, so he shall go 600 or 700 miles over the Bosphorus. "I shall enter Constantinople. Now I enter the theater of Europe. I establish the Republic of Greece." Okay, as opposed to what you see, now we're getting into something. Who's the old Greece? This Republic of Greece is the new Greece. Okay, this is an admission of changing of the peoples and the faces and the races of Europe. This is it. He established the Republic of Greece. I raise Poland from its ruins. I make Prussia bend at the knee to France. Now, Prussia, again, is not another one of these old peoples, right? I believe. I don't know what he's talking about, Poland. Um, I chain up the Russian bear. I cut the head from the imperial eagle. Now, that is the Holy Roman Empire, Holy German Empire. Holy Roman German Empire. The imperial eagle is Germany. It's the old Germany, the old German Roman Empire. Okay. I drive the ferocious English from the archipelago. I hunt them from the Mediterranean. Now, okay, we already looked at the South Iberians, right? The Celtics were all over England, not only all over Europe, not only in England. So he's saying that he drove the ferocious English, the British, the melanated people from the archipelago. That means the island chain, right? That's the islands of Britain. And then he hunt them from the Mediterranean and blot them out from the catalog of nations. Hiya! Yup, that's just what y'all did. Then shall the conquered earth sue for peace, and an obelisk be created at Constantinople, inscribed to Bonaparte, conqueror of the world and extirpator of the English nation. And extirpator, I looked up the definition as well. It means the total destruction, total erasure, total destruction. Okay, I'm going to show you the rest of this picture. I really don't want to make it stop recording. And I think if I get over here, all right, you know what? I'm not going to show you the rest. It's Bonaparte. I think if I click on this picture and minimize it, it's going to stop recording, because I think I figured out that if I click on anything, that's when it stops recording. I'm not going to take a chance because I'm already 10 minutes in here, and we're still recording incredibly. And this is the first go around. So where are we going to go from there? I don't know. I don't know where we're going from here. Okay, it talked about the Druze. We can go into what the Druze are, I guess. I don't know what this is. This Muhammad Ali of Egypt is pretty interesting. Okay, I got it. All right, we're gonna go. Okay, we're gonna go down here to the voyage of Captain. Okay, we're gonna go down here. This is a shoot. It's all the way at the end still. I'm gonna go up to the top. I should have had this set up, but I didn't. Fuck. This is written by a brother from Congo, and he used this work to dispute the origins of some pictures. Sorry about this. I got to get it to the top. All right, it's a long page, so I didn't want to go slow. He's disputing some pictures they have, and it's funny because it was shown in a video the other day. The picture of it's supposedly Henrique of Congo, and was supposedly an envoy, or actually not even envoy, but what do they call them, man? When they go and be a what you call to another country, they were a representative from Congo to the Vatican. Anyway, he's just disputing the the origin of some of these pictures, and then also just offered some interesting information in the end about the mesticos in Congo, and we're going to go into the mestico and what they are. All right, man. You know what? He's got a lot of other stuff here. For some reason, he lists all of the stuff that he wants to um, deny. However, there's something interesting here. Shit, where is it? Answers. See, I'm trying to make this without getting everything prepared too much, but I ain't so good at this. Anyway, if I could find it right here, he says somewhere about how the so-called slaves coming over to the U.S. from Africa in the 15th century, I think. That the kings in this time had a trouble with secessions. They didn't have it set up to where their sons and daughters were always took over for them. So when the king died, there was a lot of war, and then whoever won to get the new kingship sold all the old members of the old king's family into slavery. um, okay, I think it's further down. I'm sorry, we're gonna go down here. uh, All right, let me quit acting like a dumbass. All right. Okay, so he's talking about. Okay, here we go. If Congo resisted the Portuguese attempts to enslave its people, unfortunately, it also engaged in the practice through civil war. Succession to Congo's throne was often hotly contested, and the country's history was littered with the internecine conflict. In such wars, the losers, branded as traitors by the victors, were often sold to slavery wholesale. Okay, these wars became frequent in the 1600s and after 1665, when the succession crisis was triggered by a family setback on the Congo-Angola frontier. Civil war became a near permanent fixture of Congo's history. Thousands and tens of thousands of losers in this endless struggle for the throne were captured and exported to the French, English, Dutch, and Portuguese shippers and spread all over the Americas. Okay, that makes sense because there is some, we're seeing that the movement of melanated peoples happened all over the world, and they went all over to, they went out of Europe basically and went to all over the world. And that the story of the transatlantic slave trade, of course, is not true. But what we're seeing is that there were some melanated peoples brought from Africa to the Americas and to South America, but nowhere near the numbers that they're saying. And we're going to get into something else in a minute that again proves that there weren't large numbers coming across. It's called the Asiento de Negros. Was an agreement between the Spanish crown. Let's look at it real quick. Screw it. I know it's right here. It's Britannica. Okay, so this is the short one. This is good. Okay, Asiento de Negros. Okay. Asiento de Negros, between the early 16th and mid 18th century, an agreement between the Spanish crown and a private person or another sovereign power by which the latter was granted a monopoly in supplying African slaves for the Spanish colonies in the Americas. Now, I don't know if this is the one that says it, but something else I found talks about how there was a very, very, very limited number. It's like a couple thousand over 10 years, not many at all. The contractor, the hacienda, agreed to pay a certain amount of money to the crown for the monopoly and to deliver a stipulated number of male and female slaves for sale in the American markets. The first such contractor was a Genovese company that in 1517 agreed to supply 1,000 slaves over an 8-year period. See, it's not a whole bunch like they make it out to be, hundreds of millions of people and all that. Um, there were that many people moved, but they were not all coming out of Africa. And yeah, in this period, and seeing that the Arabs traded a lot of slaves out of Africa, but I believe those to be North African slaves and non-melanated people. But these are the melanated slaves coming to America. Sorry, it's getting cold, man. I had to throw on a jacket. So, oh yeah. In 1528, an agreement was reached with a German firm to supply 4,000 slaves. For its monopoly, the firm paid 20,000 ducats annually to the crown. Each slave was sold at a price not exceeding 45 ducats. Until the 18th century, individual Spaniards, as well as subjects of Portugal, France, and Great Britain, entered into such contracts. In spite of heavy taxation, government interference, and unsettled trade conditions, all of which greatly curtailed the profitability of the asientos, foreigners nevertheless sought them because they provided the chance to share in the lucrative Spanish-American trade and especially to acquire some of the gold and silver bullion produced by the slave trade. Okay. The last and probably most notable asiento was that granted to the British South Sea Company in 1713 by a provision of the Treaty of Woolwich. This contract entitled the company to send 4,800 slaves to Spanish America annually for 30 years. 5,000, right? A year for 30 years. 5 times 30 is 150. So I don't know. Is that 150,000? That's 150,000 slaves, right? 5,000 in 10 years would be 50,000. Yeah, times 350,000 slaves in 30 years. So we see that's not many at all. Not many. Okay, so where did all where did they all go? We're just seeing that we're just poking holes in the story. The transatlantic slave trade story. That's all. I don't even know if there's anything more here. You can see that Britain took part in it in 1713, which is right before they abolished slavery. I think it was 1734. Okay. All right, we'll keep going. Annually for 30 years, and to send one ship, navio de permiso, each year to engage in general trade. The company found the enterprise unprofitable because war and other adverse conditions usually prevented importation to the American markets, while an annual tax to the Spanish crown of 34,000 pounds for the first 4,000 slaves had to be paid whether or not they were imported. Also, the legal trade was accompanied by an illicit trade that continually exacerbated. All right. Continually exacerbated Spanish-British relations, leading to the War of Jenkins' Ear in 1739. This disrupted the profitable British trade with peninsular Spain. Spain renewed the asiento at the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in 1748, but 2 years later, the British relinquished their rights in exchange for a payment of 100,000 pounds from Spain. Between 1600 and 1750, an estimated 450,000 Africans were dispatched to Spanish America under the Asiento system. So there were other systems, I believe. But anyhow, we're seeing that 16 over 150 years in the Asiento, 450,000. The numbers aren't adding up. Actually, I take it back. I don't think there were any other systems. I think that the Spanish crown held the monopoly of importation of slaves to the Americas. I was thinking that I know that there was others like Portuguese. Anyhow, we're seeing that the numbers just don't add up. So we're gonna get back to this brother's talk, and we'll see that he's realhistoryww.com. Okay. About 1 in 5 Americans of African descent come from Congolese stock. Now, see that I don't know about this because I don't know about this. With the greatest percentages being concentrated in South Carolina and Louisiana, they carried their religion with them as well. Okay, so that's just you see that that's just trying to say that a lot of them came from Africa, when we know that a lot of them did not come from Africa. We know that a lot of melanated people were already in the Americas, the natives, um, different travelers. Okay, let me hold on here. Okay, so he goes over these guys. Hang on, am I still taping? Okay, great. He goes over these guys. You know what? Let me pause it. I'm gonna pause it and get it ready. Okay. Sorry about that. This whole nonsense about a Congo ambassador to the Vatican, ambassador, that's what I was trying to, seems to have started when someone realized that people would ask questions about this bust of a black European huntsman knight noble that is mounted in the St. Mary Major Basilica, as with the statues of black knights in European churches that were falsely called St. Maurice. Many statues and paintings of blacks in the Vatican had to be explained. Yo, this we're on the same wavelength, me and this brother, man. They got to explain all this stuff, man. They got a lot of stuff to explain. So they were attributed to the Congo ambassador to the Vatican. Whether that is because of laziness or stupidity, we do not know. As should be expected from a silly made up story, there are many name spellings used, and because these are real people whose identities are being usurped, they all look different. Um, so, yeah, he's saying that, there's unknown black European noble. As only saints, royalty, and the most important nobles are entombed in churches, falsely identified as Emmanuel Nevunda, ambassador from the Kingdom of Congo, said to be Francisco Corporal. I never did look up this name. I wanted to. Anyway, so this is a tomb. He's tombed in the Basilica of Santa Maria in Rome. Okay. I'm gonna pause it again because he goes into some other stuff for a while. Okay, boom, I found the part that I wanted to find. This is a painting, obviously, with the Pope, right? And the brother says this painting is said to depict Ambassador Emmanuel Antonio Nsaku Vunda of the Congo being visited on his deathbed by Pope Paul V. Because, by the way, it's just a quick story, man. The made up story was that he traveled to Rome from the Congo and got very sick on the way and died like 2 days after he got there. Okay, so that's what this deathbed is about. Further, Pope Paul is said to have developed such affection for the ambassador. Okay, look here. This is how they're explaining it, right? They explain it that the Pope had such affection for the ambassador, whom he had known for only 2 days, as the story goes, that he insisted on entombing the ambassador of a non-independent Spanish territory in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, an honor usually reserved for saints, royals, and high nobles. Quite a story. Yes, it is quite a story. A note: Philip II of Spain gained control over the Portuguese and Spanish crowns in 1581. The Iberian Union, a personal union that would last for 60 years, during which time the Portuguese Empire declined. Yeah, so that's the combination of the Portuguese and Spanish crowns. To further broadcast news of Nivunda's embassy and death, which were also extensively reported in European diplomatic dispatches, at least 2 engravings approved by the papal. And these engravings, man, this is what I've been looking for. When we find these old images, a lot of them are cartoons and stuff, but the engravings are the ones that you can tell are the real thing, and they just have a different look to them. When you zoom in on them very close, they have all this detail just in a cloud. Even there's just 1,000 times more detail in an engraving than in a cartoon picture or whatever. Okay, so at least 2 engravings approved by the papal authorities appeared in 1608. One, designed by Guillermo du Mortier, depicts Nivunda with the netted shirt and quiver, and he appears in the funerary busts. Also here, he also holds a bow and arrow. Now, this picture right here is very, very, very interesting, okay? This is said to be an engraving of the Congolese ambassador to the Vatican. Okay, very beautiful engraving. And you see here that it was an obituary in Rome that he died the January 6, 1608, and was sepulchred in the basilica, buried in the basilica. Very interesting, but wait, I didn't see it at the top at first either. I wish that I could read Latin, okay, because I think that's what this is. And it says "il adder deno," I don't know all that. But look at here. What's that? Why is that here? And what is that? What is that? Let's find out. Okay. Now, this is a Wikipedia article about the names of Jerusalem, and it seems that Jerusalem had many different names, okay? Jerusalem is the name most commonly used in the Bible and the name used by most of the Western world. The biblical Hebrew form is Yerushalayim. Sorry if I messed this up. Yerushalayim, adopted in biblical Greek as Jerusalem. So I wish I could read Greek. This is real interesting to go into all the other names. I just wanted to show and prove that the name on this picture is Jerusalem, and it says in Jerusalem. I'm thinking in, right? I don't know. I don't know. What does Jerusalem have to do with this picture? I wonder. I wonder. I really do. I wonder. Okay. In other engravings, Navunda is shown in elegant European dress and holds a document, presumably a letter from King Alvaro II to the Pope. 6 small scenes of his departure, arduous travel by land and sea, arrival in Rome, deathbed papal visit, and funeral procession are also included. Now, that was the first engraving they made, and then they made a second engraving, which we're going to see here. And obviously, the first one he was in African garb, and the second one he's in European garb. Now, I didn't find Jerusalem anywhere in here. It would be interesting to find it again. Look, oh, that's Vaticano. I bet it's in here somewhere. What I noticed about this picture that seems very interesting to me is that the 2 ladies on the side with their arms up and going in are forming again a harp. And this harp shows up in all these old things, and I still haven't found out the significance of the harp. So anyway, there he is again. Okay, and this is in the British Museum. Gonna pause and go down again. Okay, this is the part where the brother got to this picture and disputed it. Okay? Disputed the origins of this picture. You see his title, More Nonsense. In the beginning of this, he calls us non-melanated people by the name of albino people. And I find that interesting because I wonder if some of us are actually albino people. Only because Second Kings 5 has the visiting noble from Syria, I believe. I'll have to look it up to be more specific. Coming to Jerusalem and doing some bad thing, which made him turn into an albino, and then his an albino, and then his or leprous. Anyway, long story short, his assistant also, or one of the Israelites' assistants, somebody else turned into an albino as well, and they stuck around. Like 2 chapters later, they're still there. I guess I'll have to maybe do a video about that sometime. But anyway, so laughably called Dom Nicolau, Prince of Congo, on a visit to Portugal. Note that the prince wears European clothing and icons, a royal coronet cap with 2 versions of the Teutonic Knights of the Holy Roman Empire's cross patih on the bands, the Iron Cross version commonly used by the modern German military, and a triangular closed-tip version of the cross patih. These types of crosses are also common on British heraldry because the current British royalty are of German extraction. And you see here's the cross patih, Iron Cross, and they're all over him. They're all over his cap. They're all around his neck. And so this man from Congo is disputing the fact that he's from Congo. I think what he was trying to say in his argument, I really had ultimately a difficult time knowing exactly what that was, but I think what he was saying was that these again are Europeans that they again tried to play off and invent a story and explain, right? Explain. Wanted to explain black kings, black nobles, wanted to hide their historical destruction of the true history and their made up story, you know? So that's him. We've seen this picture 100 times. And he says the prince also wears around his neck another type of cross, the Teutonic Knights, the Order of Brothers of the German House of St. Mary in Jerusalem, or a cross of the Portuguese Templar Knights, which would be red. The prince also wears a medieval Tyrolean jacket, Tyrolean estate of the Holy Roman Empire. In the aggregate, the prince's garb suggests that he was a prince of the Holy Roman Empire. Okay? This is another picture, and he's showing the red cross, which I've heard explained as the cross of St. George. It's going to come up in another video here pretty soon about one of the places that the melanated British were moved to. Okay, and it's a real interesting story. Man, I'm so glad to be studying all this, man. And I'm just a dumbass, bro. I'm not smart. I ain't nobody, man. All I know is that the Most High been leading me on a journey. He showed me the truth, and then he taught me to research and learn about the truth. So, I'm such a douchebag, bro. I ain't nobody special. I'm trying real hard to not be the asshole that I've been my whole life, bro. I ain't nobody special. I know that I try to follow what the Most High says, man. And I hope that I haven't presented myself as anyone special, because I damn sure ain't, brother. Ha ya. Okay. Black Knight of the Swabian League with St. George's Cross. Okay, there it is, St. George's Cross and shield. Who is purposely falsely identified as St. Maurice in order to hide his true identity. Weinhausen Abbey, near Celle in Lower Saxony, Germany, 1500. And I happen to have learned that this word, anytime in German you see Hausen at the end, it means house of, so that's the house of wine. St. George's Cross is a red cross on a white background associated with St. George since the time of the Crusades. Historically, the cross appeared on the flags, emblems, and coats of arms of the Swabian League in late medieval Germany. The Swabian League was a mutual defense and peacekeeping association of the imperial estates established in 1488 at the behest of Emperor Frederick III of Habsburg, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. I don't know if this is anything, man. I'm gonna pause it again here. All right, I'm back. This is another interesting part here. It's talking about Duarte Lopez, okay? Duarte Lopez, Portuguese trader to Congo and Angola, who wrote one of the earliest descriptions of Central Africa. Now, I believe Duarte Lopez is a precursor to Theodore de Vries. And you're going to see that the work of Duarte Lopez are engravings, and they are very detailed and very interesting. Okay, I use that word a lot, man. But I find a lot of things interesting. What could I say? Lopez, the first Lopez first left Portugal. Okay, listen to this, man. This is weird. Okay, Lopez first left Portugal for the Congo in April 1578, sailing on his uncle's trading vessel. I would really love to learn how to get my pointer to be like more visible. I have no idea how to do that. If anybody knows, man, leave it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. I guess I should look it up for myself. I spend a lot of time researching this stuff. I could spend 3 minutes and research how to do that, but I hate computers, bro. I hate computers, man. I always have. I only started reading and all this recently, man. You know? Yeah, I really hate computers and screens. Okay, after a stay of several years and having accumulated some wealth through his enterprises, he was appointed as ambassador of Alvaro II, King of the Congo, to the Pope and Philip II of Spain, which at that time was unified with Portugal. See, I don't understand. He's going into this again. He said that that's not true, but anyhow, the mission had originally been entrusted to Sebastian de Costa, who had been sent to the Congo in 1580 to announce the accession of Philip and to gain the consent of Alvaro to seek out certain supposed silver mines. De Costa was returned to Portugal carrying a letter from Alvaro, but died on the voyage, and Duarte Lopez was appointed in his stead. As ambassador to Philip, Lopez was to offer specimens of local minerals and to open the region for free trade with Portugal and Spain, while also informing the Pope of the need for missionaries. However, during his return to Portugal, Lopez was shipwrecked on the coast of Venezuela. Yo, how? He's gone from Congo in Africa straight north to Portugal in Europe, somehow got shipwrecked in Venezuela in South America, all the way across on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. That sounds suspect. And I saw this somewhere else too when I was reading, and it was like, what in the hell? How in the hell did they get to it? It sounds like they're just, slipped and let go about, that the map ain't the way it looks today, or it was different anyway. Okay, so he forced to spend a year there, although his submissions to the Pope and Philip were largely ignored. Lopez was able to relate everything he knew about the Congo to Filipa Pigafetta. I don't know who that is, who had been charged with the task of collecting information about the region. Okay. Um, I remember. Okay, I brought up some of Duarte Lopez's pictures because you can imagine what they are. They're interesting, right? Okay, check this out, man. Let me make sure we're recording. Okay, wonderful. Okay. And we're going to go down and see the title of this. Now, you can see all the detail, these little lines in the sky and all this. We're going to go down to the title of the picture first. Okay. And it says Women in Congo, right? Lopez Duarte, 1591. Okay. Now, my wife, I show her all the pictures that I find that I've been doing, and all these pictures that I've been finding that have been being shown to me. And a lot of the times, the pictures that I find that look to me or to somebody who knows about the lie, the pictures sometimes look to me, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I've been showing you pictures of white folks the whole time, right? Because that's what my wife says. She goes, "Yo, he's white. What are you talking about? That's not a black guy." So, I know that the picture, it's very difficult, and I don't even, as a non-melanated person, I'm not even going to get into any kind of description of melanated people or anything else because I wouldn't want to be disrespectful. But anyhow, my wife looked at this picture by Duarte Lopez of women in Congo and said, "Those are white women." And I said, well, I always show them to her to see if she could ask and say what they look like. And she looked and said they're white women. And I said, you know what? That's what I thought too when I looked at her. I mean, this lady is in no way is melanated that I can see. No way. Not even a little bit melanated looking. This person, I don't know. I don't know. This person, I don't know. Another interesting thing about these pictures by Duarte Lopez of Congo is that you always see these very large castles in the background, these very large cities. You see here. And if you go down further in the other pictures of Lopez, they're even more obvious. So there's again the castles in the background. One of these pictures shows a close-up of it. So I want to find that. This one's interesting as well. What in the hell is that, man? Is that a pig, vulture, snake? I don't know what that is. And I can't zoom in anymore, but it shows like some strange creatures back there as well. Again, Duarte Lopez Congo pictures, and you can find all this. Do these people look melanated? I don't know. I don't know. There's again the castles in the back. Um, Now, as much as we've been showing Congo is Central Africa and South, and I've understood these to be regions of melanated peoples. I don't really know I don't know what to make of these pictures or what they mean. I mean, I've been learning and been showing that populations in Northern Africa are certainly, at least to a large extent, non-melanated. I very much still believe the population of Central and South Africa to be melanated peoples because the Bantus are all over Central and Southern Africa, and those are definitely melanated peoples. So I don't know what to make of these pictures, but they are very interesting. One of them shows a real close up of the castles in the background. There it is. There's a real close up of the castles in the background. Again, here, castles. And here, castles. Okay. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to pause it just one more time. Okay, so I went through some more and found what I wanted and remembered what his argument was. He's just saying that, these melanated Europeans, which were the Portuguese, were the ones to first come down with the Capuchin, came down to the Congo to meet with the melanated kings of the Congo. And that just he doesn't like that the Catholic Church tried to put their spin on it, saying that they were not involved. What this man is trying to say excuse me, it's just that Congo is trying to make diplomatic relationships as any nation would with the Europeans, simply that the church didn't have anything to do with it. And this is basically his summation of how he's going to try to prove that, there just are not a lot of Catholics in the Congo. Okay. So this long relationship with the Catholic Church doesn't seem to be true. So he says, let's compare Congo and Angola to some American countries. So Colombia is 90% Roman Catholic, Venezuela 96% Roman Catholic, Ecuador 74% Roman Catholic, Peru 81% Roman Catholic. Some of these countries are almost 100% Catholic, yet no one has ever heard of their ambassador to the Vatican. Now let's compare Congo Angola to its neighbors. We're going to compare the CIA World Factbook Congo Democratic Republic of the. Okay, the ethnic groups of Congo are over 200 African ethnic groups, of which the majority are Bantu. The four largest tribes, Mongo, Luba, Congo, all Bantu, and the Mangbetu Azande. He says that those are Hamitic people. This would be an interesting people to get into, being that I don't know what he's proposing the Bantu to be. I've heard the Bantu to be proposed to be of Shem. So that might be an interesting people to look into, being that he's claiming they're Hamitic people, or in the same category as what, Canaanites, white, non-melanated Africans. Okay, so make up about 45% of the population. Now the languages. This is interesting as well, okay? Because this video I got coming up about the transportation of melanated peoples to this place where I'm going to show you. It says that, and they're a long way from France, right? So we're going to see the languages, right? French is the official language of Congo, and that's true. Lingala is a lingua franca. These are languages that are not French, but are very much related to French. Francophone languages, I think, is what they call them. And so this language that they speak in this place where melanated peoples from Britain were moved to, quite a long ways away from Britain, it says that they speak a lingua franca. And so how could they have a French language there? I know that the French did a lot of colonizing too, but, anyway, Kingwanga, a dialect of Kiswahili or Swahili, Kikongo, and Tushaluba. Okay, the religions, Roman Catholic, we see a dismal 50%. Protestant 20%, Kimbanguist 10%, Muslim 10%, excuse me. And so we see that Muslims are very, 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 very low in the region, very low. Northern Africa, yes, but Central and Southern, no. And other, which includes syncretic sects and indigenous beliefs, 10%. Okay, the Republic of the Congo, we see that the ethnic groups are Congo 48%, Sangha 20%. Those are an interesting people too. They were one of the peoples from the northern regions where we looked at the DNA breakdown. They had a very much natural melanated DNA. We're not one of the invading peoples. Most likely the natural, original, indigenous peoples of Africa. Okay, Mbochi 12%, Teke 17%, Europeans another 3%. Now you're about to see the reason why I'm even just going into this section. Okay, they got some languages, whatever. Okay, they got some religions, even lower religion, 33%, right? There's no Catholics over there. Okay, this is what I wanted to see, the ethnic groups, okay? Now, you see what Ovimbundo, 37%, Kimbundo, 25%, Bakongo, 13%, Mestico, okay? This is what I found and went, what? Mixed European and Native African. Okay, we know about the mesticos, and we're going to look into the mesticos, and we're going to see and say, what are you talking about when we see what it says about these mesticos? And here we go. We're going to look at mesticos. Okay, you see, it's the Wikipedia mestico. Okay, so we see mestico in colonial Brazil was initially used to refer to mamelukes. Yo, what are they? Mameluke? Yo, the Mameluke are the mestico? I know that Lex Will went over the Mamelukes recently. The mesticos are the Mamelukes, and they're down there in Central Africa. Persons born from a couple in which one was an indigenous American and the other a European. Now you see they're playing it off, right, as if the mestico word is just related to the Mamelucos word, right? As if they just had some significance about their word, right? But when you go into the Mamelukes, and as was taught by Lex, well, the Mamelukes was a people. And I read a lot about the Mamelukes. They were a people, so it's very strange to be seeing them calling Mesticos Mamelukes, because they would have been all over the Mamelukes. And I have it here on the. I don't know if we're going to get into it in this video or not, but it's just the Mamelukes were very widespread, right? They were in Egypt, they were in northern Africa. It's saying here they were in southern Africa, again also in Brazil. I went over. Okay, we're going to keep reading here, but I went over and studied all the different. It's going to say all the different terms for mestico, and I went over all of them. And basically everywhere, the Americas, even Canada, it says there's mesticos there, and it again just explains them away as people with mixed heritage. However, when you look into the Mamelukes, you'll see that it's a very different thing. They were actually a social class. They were the armed warrior slaves, right? And so, you just see real quick, mestizo, mestis, muhwalad. Now that's the Arabic one, and that's real interesting too. The Saqualiba. These are all different names for mesticos. Okay. So let's just keep going. In which one was an indigenous American and the other a European? It literally translates as Mameluke. Okay? Mameluke. Probably referring to the common Iberian comparison of swarthy people to North Africans. No, 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 that's not anything to do with Mameluke. They're saying the Spanish term moreno, tawny, swarthy, tanned, but also dark colored or dark haired human for more. See, again, they put in the baloney Moor idea, a baloney name for black people, moreno. But what we're really talking about is Mamelukes. The term Mameluco fell in disuse in Brazil and was replaced by the much more familiar sounding Caboloco. So, they're calling these terms. But I just want to get right over to the Mamelukes, man, because Lex Will taught about this a couple days back, but let's go right over to the Mamelukes. And this is a hell of a long article, man. They got a lot of information about Mamelukes. A real lot of information about Mamelukes. Sorry, Mameluke, okay? Mameluke, singular, also translated as Mameluk, Mamluk, Mamluk, Mameluk, Mamluk, Mameluk, or Mamluk. Okay, so they're Mamelukes, right? a term most commonly referring to either slave soldiers, freed slaves, Muslim converts assigned to the military and administrative duties, and Muslim rulers of slave origin. So there you go. There's the Mamluks. It's not a term. They were a people. It was a caste system. It was a place in the caste system. You know, you had your free, you had your praetorians, your kings, then you had your citizens and your slaves. But then you had the Mamluks, who were free. Free slaves? I don't know. They were soldier slaves. The most enduring Mameluke realm was the knightly military class in Egypt in the Middle Ages, which developed from the ranks of slave soldiers. These were mostly enslaved Turkic peoples, Armenians, Egyptian Copts, Circassians, Abkhazians, and Georgians. So we're seeing that these are white people, okay? Slave white people. Lending credence again to the tie in with the mesticos, because the mesticos claim that a mestico is a term for a person of mixed heritage. So to see that the Mamelukes are people of mixed heritage ties credence that the mesticos are Mamelukes. Many Mamluks were also of Balkan origin, Albanians, Greeks, and South Slavs, again, non-melanated people. The Mameluke phenomenon, as David Ayalon dubbed the creation of the specific warrior class, was of great political importance. For one thing, it endured for nearly 1,000 years. Okay? We'll get a little bit more about these Mamluks. It's going to come down and talk about Muhammad Ali. And that was interesting. I'm still on Muhammad Ali, but I'm gonna that's gonna be one pretty soon. Over time, Mamluks became a powerful military knightly class in various societies that were controlled by Muslim rulers. You see, they're making a distinction that Mamluks only resided in societies that were controlled by Muslim rulers. I don't know how they would have been spread to Spanish societies and everything else, but there was a great deal of mixing between the cultures. I mean, I would like to do more research and find out how it happened. I don't know how it happened. I only know that they're using the same name and the same word, and that is remarkable. Okay, particularly in Egypt, but also in the Levant, Mesopotamia, and India, political and Mamelukes held political and military power. In some cases, they attained the rank of sultan, while in others, they held regional power as emirs or beys. Now, see, they're again tying it in with the Muslim. However, when we see the term beys here, these were a specific class of Muslims. These were the Ottoman Muslims. Most notably, Mamluk faction seized the Sultanate centered on Egypt and Syria and controlled it as the Mamluk Sultanate from 1250 to 1517. So, you know, these Mamluks are getting all over the place. Now they're actually ruling. Okay? So if they're ruling, they could have easily done other things as well. They could have easily been in Britain and in Africa and everywhere else. And God damn it, maybe that's how the fucking white people spread all over the fucking map in the first place. I hadn't even considered that. But is that not what we're searching for? We are searching for. I am first trying to show and illustrate that the world of antiquity, the world of the past, was ruled and populated by melanated people. And so, of course, today we see the world is ruled and populated by mostly, or not mostly, but a large number of non-melanated people, certainly more than in the past. And many kingdoms fell to these non-melanated people. So we're trying to see, where did they come? Maybe they were the goddamn Mamelukes. I don't know, man. I don't know. If I ever find proof to say, if I ever find it saying on some website, this is what happened, I'll be freaking amazed, because there's fucking lie on top of lie on top of lie. And this shit is real hard to even know what the fuck you're talking about, you know? It's confusing. I feel like a goddamn crazy person sometimes. All right, the Mameluke Sultanate famously defeated the Il Khanate at the Battle of Ain Jalud. They had earlier fought the Western European Christian Crusaders in 1154 to 1169 and 1213 to 1221, effectively driving them out of Egypt and the Levant. In 1302, the Mameluke Sultanate formally expelled the last Crusaders from the Levant, ending the era of the Crusades. Okay? While Mamelukes were purchased as property, their status was above ordinary slaves, who are not allowed to carry weapons or perform certain tasks. In places such as Egypt, from the Ayyubid dynasty to the time of Muhammad Ali of Egypt, Mamelukes were considered to be true lords, true warriors with social status above the general population in Egypt and the Levant. In a sense, they were like enslaved mercenaries. Muhammad Ali of Egypt seems to have something to do with the fall of the Egyptian kingdom, the melanated people being escorted out of Egypt, but like I say, I didn't really get into that yet. I don't know, man. We might be just done. I think I'm just gonna finish there. You know, I don't know if I could add anything to that argument. And I understand it's a weak argument, but we're trying to prove something that's very difficult to prove, something that's been hidden very well. And all praise go to Haya, that he can help us to uncover these truths and help us to bring about. I think that's why I got into the studying so much, because I understood that what I'm doing right now, is a spiritual study. This is an uncovering of the truth of Haya, and so that makes it just as spiritual and just as a righteous an activity as reading the word or anything else. So I'm gonna say shalom and have a great day, y'all, man. I'm gonna be making another video real soon, and peace.